Hey everybody, welcome back. Levi Gardner, founder and co-executive director here at Urban Roots. Today we're going to be doing a short tutorial on peppers, how to plant them, space them, prune them, trellis them. It's about late August, the sun is shining, the peppers are looking beautiful. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how we have really productive, thriving peppers here at Urban Roots. So if you want to come on here and take a look, the first thing that you'll notice is that we don't plant in rows. So we've got beds here, and even though we do everything by hand, we're planting our peppers very close, and so you can actually see there's a canopy where all the leaves are touching each other. So to start, we've got our beds that we're planting in, and you can see this pepper here and this one right here, only about 15 inches apart, and so we're actually spacing them pretty close together. And that means as they grow, the leaves touch each other, and that helps really create this microclimate, which is really good for encouraging growth and protecting against temperature swings. Now, a couple important things to think about when we're growing peppers. So when we're first planting them, we're obviously quite a bit smaller than this. And if we want to shift over here, I can show you that the flowers are going to be what it starts to set. And these will eventually turn into fruit. But when we have really young, immature plants and they set these flowers, we're actually going to pick those off. And the reason for doing that is if we pick those off, it'll encourage more tenacious vegetative growth, so we'll get more leaves and deeper root systems, and that'll ensure that as our plants get bigger, they're setting bigger and even larger fruit, and they're able to handle it. So as I mentioned, in this plant right here, in addition to having about a 15-inch spacing, you can see we don't really have any bare soil, so we're using some straw and some organic matter, even weeds that we've pulled out. And what that's going to help to do, along with the microclimate of the bed, is protect against temperature swings. So with all of our plants, we always want to minimize stress. That's one of the goals. We'll get more impressive growth if we can minimize stress. And so by doing that, we're protecting against evaporation, and we're also keeping a more consistent temperature in this whole bed. So we're planting at 15-inch spacing. We're picking out the flowers. We're mulching the soil. And then the last thing to understand is that, so right here, you can see these plants have got a lot of fruit on them. Some have got 3, 4, 5 peppers growing off of them. So we're actually using bamboo stakes. And these you can get at a local hardware store or a garden supply center. And then we're just taking one piece of wire and wrapping that around. And what that's doing here is encouraging that as the plant is getting taller, that weight of the fruit isn't carrying it over. So that's a really simple trellising system. It's hardly even a trellis, but it just encourages our plants to grow up instead of out. The last thing to see is that you can see this kind of stack of earthen organic matter around the base of the plant. So for our soil fertility, we're always adding finished compost. And what that's going to do is, again, add biological activity to the soil. It's going to add some trace nutrients to our plant, and it's also going to trap moisture in. So this is 100% finished screen compost. We're going to mix that around the pepper plant. So all of these little things, what Elliot Coleman calls 1%ers, add up, but through a good spacing, managing our soil fertility, pruning, and then trellising them well, we'll end up with a ton of peppers. So be sure to stop back and we'll talk about more of these topics and other gardening topics that you're interested in at Urban Roots. Have a good one.